When you go through the restoration process, you're going to come to a point where you have to remove paint and rust and scale, and blasting is always the quickest and easiest way to do it. And Eastwood came out with a tool that's so simple that it's one of those things you think, you know, I should have thought of that. It's a dual blaster that allows you to use two different blasting media without stopping. It's basically just a portable media blaster that has two tanks. The one tank you fill with a harsh type media like aluminum oxide or sand or something like that. But the other tank you fill with sodium bicarbonate, which is more commonly known as baking soda. Now these two tanks are both pressurized at the same time, and there's two feed hoses that go to one central nozzle with a little valve on it. So you can be blasting heavy scale and rust with the sand and then turn the valve and then switch over to the less aggressive sodium bicarbonate media to do things that are more delicate. And we put it to the test on a couple different pieces, one being a very rare original GM fiberglass hood. Now the outside of this is fiberglass, but the substructure is steel. And ours being from 1971 had some scale and rust on the metal portion, but I certainly wasn't going to use, a very strong abrasive on the fiberglass. So this was a perfect test, because now we had both situations in one panel. The dual blaster was up to the task of stripping the paint and rust from the metal areas just like any other sandblaster would, no problem. Then we switched the valve and started blasting the fiberglass parts with the sodium bicarbonate, because that stuff doesn't hurt fiberglass. In fact, it'll take paint off one layer at a time, and you can see it just quickly erased the paint without hurting any of the precious original fiberglass. You can strip paint off a panel one layer at a time. So if you just need to take a top coat off and you want to leave the body filler underneath, you can do that. And it's also nice for stripping body panels without worry about warping them, because it doesn't generate the heat, that a typical sand does. And the sodium bicarbonate is also nice for doing mechanical parts. You could disassemble an engine and clean the connecting rods or the intake manifold or pistons or any part of a motor using the soda, and you don't have to worry about it, etching or machining those parts. In fact, we tried it out on a transmission case. Took all the grease off, left the aluminum nice and clean. So the Eastwood Dual Blaster is a great tool to have because it solves a bunch of problems all in one unit, and it's very easy to use, it's very simple. We find ourselves using the thing all the time.